Whenever there's a ranking of favorite state flags, the Maryland flag consistently appears near the top. One Maryland man combined his admiration of the state flag with his talents to create a unique piece of art. And he found inspiration from another state symbol.
So the idea for the Maryland flag actually came about, I wanted to work with scales. I've never worked with scales before. I've been working mostly with rings for about 16, 17 years. And so I picked up some scales, just kind of working with them to see how they would fit, how to weave them and all that. And it wasn't hard, but I didn't know what I was going to make with them. And so one day I was driving, and you see on the back of these cars, everyone has these Maryland, crab stickers and whatnot. And the scales that I picked up were red, and the color that was in those stickers were red. And I mean, just the same shade and everything, the vibrance of it. And I was like, hey, you know what? Maybe I can make a Maryland flag. So I went and bought the other three colors that I needed, and I kind of did my math wrong with the size of the scales that I did. I had a blueprint, a plan, and I had it all out. There was about 128 scales across the top, not thinking about how big it was going to be. So I started weaving it, and once I got to the first, where you could see the silver on the top there, I got that all the way across. When I realized how long it was going to be, I was like, well, I might as well just keep going with it and see how it looks. So I just started doing it every day, just a little bit every day, a lot on the weekends, some on the train when I go to work. And it didn't start gaining some popularity until it got exactly halfway down and I started posting pictures online. Because then people could actually see the pattern. Once they saw the full, the full quadrant on the top left and right corners, they were like, oh man, this is going to be awesome. So I just kind of kept going with it.
Before he started the project, he didn't know exactly how long it would take to complete, but he has his own system for calculating the process.
It was a total of 9 months altogether from when I started to when I absolutely finished it. But the way I calculate my time on any of my projects is I know exactly how many scales, how many rings I use, and I break that down by time, so I just multiplied it out. So it did take about 400 hours to make altogether.
Galloway also creates custom pieces, from aluminum ring bracelets and wallet chains, which take a few hours to make depending on the size, to aluminum or galvanized steel hauberks, which take 4 to 8 weeks to complete, depending on his backlog of orders.
This little strip of European Form 1 eventually turns into something like this. Now this is actually galvanized steel, but I don't leave it out in the elements or anything. But the same thing, it's just basically ring by ring and everything just gets woven. It just takes some time. It took about 3 months of just weaving this, watching movies and whatnot. And it's about 30 pounds of steel. And yeah, it was fun making it. Definitely fun making it. It's not fun wearing it all the time, but yeah, it was a good project.
The scale and ring assembly has become second nature, which allows him to work at his home or on his daily train commute to work. As for future projects,
so some of the future projects I have going on, I've been making flags, scale mail flags, smaller versions though, for some pubs. So Minahans in Elkton has an Irish flag that they're hanging up now, and a few other pubs in the area are interested in having their logos made into banners and flags, and so I'm kind of working on that, working with them to show them what it is. But one of the biggest projects I have plans for is I'm starting a business proposal to get some financial backing. So I thought about submitting that to the Guinness Book of World Records because it is the world's only scale mail Maryland flag at the moment. But for a mosaic flag, it needs to be 1,000 square meters to even qualify. So that's about 10,800 square feet. So the only other state that I can think of that brags about their flag just as much as Maryland does is Texas. And so I'm looking to get somebody to help back me financially to make the world's largest scale mail Texas flag. And it'll be approximately, I'd say about 150 some odd feet by 90 feet. Using the largest scales possible. This is like the second smallest size scale, and that'll be a project that I'm going to be putting together a proposal for and just seeing if it's even feasible, even if it's able to do. It's going to have to be done in sections and then shipped down to Texas and put back together. But if I do get some backing for it, that's a project that I'm willing to start off on.
So he is open to big projects like another flag. Until then, he'll continue working on smaller custom projects, as well as displaying his Maryland flag throughout the state at interesting locations. To find out more about Galloway and his art, please visit gallowmail.com.